Well, good evening. Welcome. We are here again for our weekly Friday night 9 ball. And let's have a quick look. We've got, a couple of minutes to go before the brackets are up. Good evening, Simon. And we have, I think, 14 in at the last count. Let's see how many there is now. How many seats are left? And still 14, so that looks like, I think that was the same as last week. We're not going to quite get a full house. And this will be my last tournament of my 2 weeks off, my last Friday night where I'll be able to do the whole tournament. So we'll be here to the bitter end. No, I can't put sound effects in. I'll tell you why. You know, the little cutscenes that I had in, that I was using XSplit Broadcaster to do that, which I still don't like Broadcaster, and I don't like OBS for the reason that I still have to have a second monitor up for that in order for me to use those little cutscene things. I've always got to have the second monitor running and looking and checking on what's happening on there. So with XSplit Gamecaster, everything comes up my screen, but it doesn't. It's a very much more basic system for streaming games, and it's a lot more user friendly. But it doesn't have all those extras added into it, like different scenes and stuff like that. And countdown timers and introductions and everything. If you want to make it a more sort of professional broadcast, that's what you would use, but it's a bit too much more for me to be bothered with. So we'll stick with Gamecaster. It's a lot simpler. The other thing about Broadcaster is it doesn't have a good facility to use a little doodle thing on screen, which Gamecaster does, you know, when I'm lining up shots and stuff like that. Right, so we're right on the hour, and the brackets, in fact, the event is now closed, so we've now got a full house, so that was quick. So we've now got 16 in, and remember, it's a race to 7. It's a handicap tournament. It's a money ball handicap. We have spot money on, which means if the money ball goes down in the break, it gets put back up on the table. We have rack money, which means that the 9 ball is racked further up the table, so the actual diamond is further up the table for the break. And we have a race to 4 on the one loss side. I think that's about covered it. The bracket is up. We'll have a look at the bracket if we can get this bracket to work. And the handicaps are actually up there as well. So we have Houdini playing Tommy the Welder. Houdini's getting the 6 ball. We've got Larry playing Hazard. Hazard is getting the 7 ball. We've got DJ Simon playing Capo. And Capo's getting a 5 ball. I'm surprised he's not getting a lot more. That's unusual. We have LS3 playing John Who. And John Boo, is it? Right. He's getting the 8 ball. We've got Senny playing Semi-Pro, and Senny's getting the 7 ball. We've got CTP 7093 playing Snakes, and CTP is getting the 6 ball. And we have DJ Redo playing Spectre Dawn. DJ Redo's getting the 5 ball, I think that is. And the final tie in the first round, we've got Simanx playing Miasma, who said in the lobby a minute ago, well, I won't say exactly what he said, but he said he would have to withdraw. So whether he's kidding on, I don't know, but he's getting a 7 ball, and if he doesn't turn up, Simanx will get a bye. And the match we're going to go in then to watch will be now, why is that tie? Why is that tie with Larry and Hazard not get the little dot on it? I wonder, that's weird. That there's something, and there's another one there as well that isn't up. Let's have a look and see what's happening in the lobby. Well, the Larry Hazard match, they probably aren't up because the two players that aren't in the room. And well, Larry's sitting there in the chat, and well, he's running out of time here, Larry. He needs to get his act together to get in the room. Well, Larry was late arriving in the lobby, and he's maybe just letting Hazard sit there and stew before he gets alerted to go into the room, which is strange. But that's the tie I was going to intend to look in on, and unless Larry's been called away, a phone call or whatever, it's happened at the wrong time. Well, looking at the clock, on my clock, he's got about another minute to get into that room. He'll be getting the audio alert to let him know that the room is up. But if he's not sitting in front of his PC, then he won't be hearing that. So we wait to see. And if good evening, and if Larry, well, he's finally gone in, so the lag will be going off, and there we go, just in time. Now that, I think, will be Larry in the left, because he's usually pretty good at the lag, and he isn't, because it was Hazard. So Hazard has won the lag, and Hazard is player 2 in the HUD. He's getting a 7 ball, and well, here we go. Now, does everybody prefer the green cloth, or would you like the blue cloth? Just let me know, because I prefer the blue cloth. I watched the end of that Federer match there. He finally beat Nadal, but he cannot beat him in clay. Nadal is just unbeatable on it. And now he's got to beat, what do you call him? Djokovic. Right, so we're going for the blue cloth then. That'll do me. As long as I've got one vote, that'll be more than suitable for choice of cloth. Right, so let's get down to business. Let's check the little doodle and make sure it's working okay. There we go. Now, I've got another suggestion, guys, which I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I did suggest to Steve a long while back that we should have the white lines on the snooker table, and it just dawned on me that when you're watching the professional pool tournaments, like the World Cup there the other week, the Scotch doubles one, I'm pretty certain that the lines on the table are white as well. So I think VP4 should have white lines for the pool tables as well. You know, like the kitchen line, or am I wrong, or am I just mistaken? So I think that's the next request that should be put in. We're requested to have spots on the table, which was more especially for when we're playing Cowboy, and that was promised we would get them, but that's not happened so far. It won't be on the priority list. He may well get round to doing it. No, the snooker table was black when VP4 was launched, but I hounded Steve and told him, I said, look, if you look at the professional tables, it's white marker that marks the cloth when they're marking out the table, and he agreed with me and he changed it. And I'm just thinking that the pool table should be the same, because I don't think the pool tables are black marked maybe anybody from the States that's watching could tell us otherwise. I'm thinking that the professional tables in pool are white as well. But as I say, I don't know. But I thought they were white on the Scotch Doubles 9-ball World Cup of Pool that was on last week or the other week. Anyway, here we are in the first rack. Larry giving away the 7-ball. He's got a fairly easy shot to get on the 9 here. And he'll be off and running. Now that tournament last week was 4 hours and 20 minutes to get the whole tournament completed, and by the end of the tournament I was the only one actually watching the match. I think everybody had gone to bed. Well, the amazing thing about the handicapping is anything can happen with the money ball, and it's the pressure's always on the higher rated player not to make mistakes at the wrong time. You start making mistakes down at the business end of the rack, you can pay the price. You definitely can. So we've got the push out called. Well, at least I thought there was a push out. Oh, he did call a push out. He just potted a 5 just to keep the cue safe. Now, Larry's looking to get this as thin as a feather, I would think. Yep, trying to hide behind the 8. And he's made a pretty good effort at it. I think he's just sneaked out. Yep, that was unlucky. Just a wee bit too heavy. Oh, is that right? Oh, well, if he told you then, that's fine. We know what he's going to do. Well, he might be forfeiting early then, if this match doesn't go his way. Now, I don't know whether he can sneak the 2 past the 8. Yes, he can. And now Larry will be looking to catch half of that 2 ball and kick it into the middle pocket if he gets lucky. Well, he's going the other way, which is unusual. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he's not going for the cross table kick. It looks far easier to go for it that way. And if he gets it too thin, he can cut the 2 up the table, maybe onto that top rail, and keep it safe. Well, he's missed it in the way across and hit it in the way back across, so he's left it on. So here's the type of racks that Hazard has to take. Now his problem, we can see, is that 4 ball sat there blocked off by the 8, and from the 3 he's going to have to come up there and down here to either get it in the middle or get it long. So that's the plan, and he's in the wrong angle in the 3. I think he can avoid the 9, and he needs to slow down and he needs to not scratch, and that will do. That's pretty good. Just a gentle roll in, and he'll have a shot in the 6. He's got to just get this pocket weight. And he's overdone it. And the problem with this one that Larry's got is it's not the best of angles. He's going to have to dig it to avoid scratching. He can certainly avoid scratching, but he's having to put a bit more power in it and a bit more drag in it just to try and kill the pace of this cue ball. He's played it well, and that is absolutely perfect. Can just drop onto the 7 or a little stun, whichever he's happy with. 6.5 a dozen. And now he has to leave the nice angle, so he needs to draw back up the table slightly. If he plays it thin on this 8 ball, if he leaves the cue ball here and plays the 8 ball there, then he's having to go off the rail and go down that way to get to the 9. So he's done the right thing, giving himself plenty of angle, and now it should be 2 or 3 rails to finish in the top right hand corner of the table for a shot in the 9 ball. And that will do it. So Hazard had his chance. It wasn't easy to have shots on that, was it the 7 ball? Can't remember. But that was the one unforced error, and it's cost him. So, rack number 3, Larry breaks off. He's come up dry, but he's left it pretty safe. Now, the simple shot is just to cut across the 1 and bank it back up the table. Well, that was a poor one. Is he going to get cover though? To me, the simple shot was to bank it back up the table. Obviously, you're hoping you miss the 7 ball. The cue ball ends up somewhere down there. But the shot's on for Larry. This is going to be judged nicely to just drop onto this 2 ball. You're far better making sure you don't collide with anything. I think he's going to get away with it. He's played it well. And now he may well just draw out from that 2. Doesn't want to risk running into the 5 and 6 here. Just a little draw across, and he doesn't want to hook himself either. And he's okay. Now, that's the thing I never asked. Everything should be okay for anybody that's watching on YouTube, Twitch and Facebook. A reminder for anybody who's watching on Facebook, you won't be watching in full HD. It will only be 750 resolution, which is a Facebook thing, nothing to do with me. But if you'd rather watch it in 1080, then go to the YouTube channel or go to Twitch, where the chat should be working in all of the 3 channels. I checked everything was working okay before we started, so fingers crossed. So Larry's going to have to play the combo onto the 8 ball, and his problem he has here is that he needs to get right round the table and try and get as straight as he can on that 6, and he's decided it's not worth the risk. And that's a good safety. I mean, it was easy enough to pot the 5, but you have to get somewhere like there on the 6. And poor old Hazard has kicked the 5 in, and unlucky, he's scratched. It'll be a long while before that happens. A long while before that happens. I mean, basically what would need to happen is my monitor would need to blow up. Well, the problem with 4K as well is it's eating up a heck of a lot more bandwidth, and then you might have problems with the multi-streaming on the 3 different channels. You might find you start get a fair bit of buffering. So Larry is going to race away here to a 3-0 lead. Hazard managed to kick himself out of the snooker, got the unlucky break, scratching, and giving Larry an easy out for his 3rd rack on the board. And once again, Larry's broke. And another dry break. Nothing on for Hazard. Now the easiest push is up into that top left hand corner, because he's not leaving Larry a shot. He might well be put back in, but at least it's safe. Yeah, Larry's thought twice about it and decided to put his ad back in. Wait to hear this. Today's the day we put our recycling bins out. Now, our recycling bin is like a stack of 3 separate compartments. One is for cardboard and paper, one is for glass, and one is for glass, and then the other one is for plastics and tin cans. So I put it out this morning, and it was out in plenty of time, and then in the middle of the afternoon I decided I'll go out and bring it in. And I went out and brought it in, and there was more in it than I actually put out. Some bastard had either one of the neighbours or somebody going past dumped shit in it. They dumped like an old camping gas burner thing, like a cooking stove thing. They dumped it in the bottom. They dumped a plastic tub and some other bits of metal in my recycling bin, and all I had in it was plastic bottles and my ready meal stuff, microwave stuff, anything like that was put in it. And the council had left a note on it as if I wasn't recycling properly. So obviously this bastard neighbour or whoever it was had put the stuff in it before they came. And well, all I did was I took it in, and one of my next door neighbours was out the back garden at the time, and I said, none of this shit's mine. And I said, the only way that getting it is somebody going by or one of the neighbours, and it could only be yourself, the next neighbour down, and somebody down, because the row of houses ends. I don't know what the hell happened, but anyway, in fact, I'll tell you what else was in it. There was a bloody a pan, a cooking pan. Metal, a stainless steel pan was lying in it as well, so I chucked them all in the normal bin, because by the time they come to empty that next week, it'll be full of shit on top of it and they won't see it, and they just put it onto the back of the refuse lorry and tip it all in, so it'll all be gone by next week. But I'll tell you, just as well I didn't catch them. Anyway, that's my life story told. So Hazard has left himself a none too easy shot in this 7 ball. Again, he's overcut it. Well, this time he's got away with it slightly, but he might be hooked behind the 8 ball in a minute. Yeah, I'm wheeling the thing in, up the steps to put it back round the back door, and I can hear things rattling in the bloody bottom bin, and so what the hell's this? Bloody cheeky buggers. Well, this is a crucial rack. If you're Hazard anyway. He's going to have to try and steal this one way or another. But he's going to have to get himself out of trouble first of all. He's going to have to jump to get this 7 ball. He made a good effort at it, but unlucky, and what's more, he's left Larry a shot in the 7. Now the angle he's got, it's a bit too high, so he's going to maybe run into this 9 ball unless he takes this 7 ball long. But the problem with that is he's running dangerously close to the middle pocket, so he's just trying to sneak it past dead weight, and he's played it perfect, although he might be a bit straight. No, he's got enough angle there to pinch. Oh dear, what's going on? Oh, I thought about the scratch. Well, Hazard now is in dire trouble here. He needs a lucky break, and he hasn't had any, to be honest. And this time, though, he has a chance. Larry's broke off. Again, another dry break. So it's not as if Larry's been breaking and running. He's just been taking whatever opportunities he's got. And has had his ball in hand. Now he has to find the gap between the 6 and the 3 if he's going to spin this cue ball. There is a gap there. I don't know whether he can get enough spin on it to get there. Well, that'll do. Well, that's a little bit of a nice couple of kisses. And a little gentle draw while he's running through. The problem now is he's probably running into that 9 ball unless he can skim off it. And the other problem is the 5 ball only goes into selected pockets here. It's blocked in the 2 corner pockets. So he's going to have to draw this back and not overdraw it. And that will do. And he's still got a similar problem here. He's got to find his way around for the 6, so it's not an easy run out. Again, the 6 is blocked by the 9 into the top pocket. And well, another reasonable kiss in the 6. Okay, he's cutting it back into a blind pocket. But if he plays this a nice way, he doesn't need to thump it. He can just glance off the 8. And that is well played. And he's made a right arse of that. Oh no, he hasn't, because he's on the 7 ball. I've forgotten straight away about the handicap. Oh, I'd never, without fail, every single week I do it. I'm so focused on the table and not paying attention to the handicap. I forget he's getting a 7 ball. Oh, guaranteed. I thought he'd made a right hash of that shot. I'm thinking, oh, Jesus. Well, my mistake again, the first of many. So he's off and running. Now, a couple of balls went in the break there. The 2 and the 4 have gone, but no shot. So trying to get as much distance between the 2 as he can. And Larry's missed the thin edge, and it's another chance. Let's have a look at this 3 ball. Well, the 3 ball isn't going to be a problem. The only problem is the 1 ball's at the opposite end of the table, so he's going to have to get lucky here and find the gap. And he can do that off that rail and in between the 6 and the 1. Well, he's just stunned it up and gone the other way, and that will work just as well. Well, this is not absolutely ideal. He can stun and use a little bit of draw to try and avoid that 8 ball and get up the table for the 5, or he can just run through and leave a long 5. It's not a perfect setup here. And he's just overhit that slightly. He had the right idea, and now he's going to be running into the 6. But again, if he's got enough nerve, he plays this at the right pace and he brushes the 6 towards that left-hand top corner pocket. And now he's hoping for luck, and that's where it's all gone wrong. He should have played it the right weight, and he wouldn't have knocked the 6 ball away around the corner. And his chance may well have gone. I always say you've got to play the right shot each time. The right shot was a slower pace shot, and be confident in your pot. The chances are he was going to have a good shot in that 6 ball. Well, there's a mistake. And Hazard might have got himself out of jail one way or another here. And he's got to put this away. That needs to keep going. It needs to keep running. And that will do it. And he's underhit that. No, he hasn't. He's on the 7 ball again, and that's twice ever gone. I can't believe this. Ah, dear. Somebody remind me that Hazard is on the 7 ball. That's 2 racks in a row. So, ball in the break, 2 ball, and no joy again. All he's asking for is a little bit of running here. Now, the only problem I see here is the fact that the 7 ball is locked to the 9, which isn't going to be much good. Well, there's a quick result come through. DJ Simon has beaten Capo by 7 racks to 6, so that went all the way. What was Capo getting? Was he getting a 5 ball or something? Now, there's a gap there to easily hit the 1. You can get through that 4 and 5 to hit the 1, no problem. It looks as if he's going to be hitting the 4 at that angle. Oh no, he's okay. My eyes have let me down again. Well, I think he needed to hit that a bit firmer. Oh, another result has come through. Semi-Pro has won by forfeit. I don't know why. It's certainly nothing to do with Senny not turning up, because we're half an hour into the tournament. So, is Larry going to get as far as that 7 ball? He's definitely going to have to. He's going to have to break it, or he's going to have to get someone like here to play a bank on the 7. Now, he could have tried a little nudge there. I don't know whether he did. Maybe it was intended, but he's missed it. Still on the 5. And could have possibly had another go there as well, but this is the one, and he's a bit straighter on this 7, this 6 ball than he really wanted, so he might just take his medicine here, and he might be looking at the bank. He's looking across the 7 ball and possibly trying to get up that left hand side, because that's the side where most of the 7 ball is showing, and there is a possible bank on. Oh, he's going for it a 3rd time. Let's have a look about the bank from this side. Well, it's going to have to be a cross bank, and he's going to just have to ride in his luck here. I don't know whether he can see enough of it to do it. I think he can. There's another result through. Snakes has beaten CTP 7 racks to 4, and it's going to stay straight. So, oh no, it's dropped in. I thought that was going to come straight across. So it's a good shot. Eventually got the bank, got it from the other side. Well, Larry's had to work for this. He's had 2 or 3 goes at trying to break up the 7 and the the 9 ball and eventually got the cross double. And this isn't ideal, but it's a chance to open up the gap again to 3 racks. And in it goes. So Larry leading by 5 racks to 2 in this race to 7. And all the breaks I've seen Larry do, I don't think he's had a ball. I mean, that's at least, what, 4 breaks that I've seen Larry do and he's not had a ball. He'll not want that to keep up all night. So, no shot on for Hazard. He's gone for distance, but look at these balls. These balls are sitting pretty good from where I'm looking. There isn't a problem ball. Oh, that's nasty. That is nailed to the 2. Absolutely nailed. I don't even think he can get it off that long rail on the right hand side. I don't know whether the angle's there, whether he can see enough of it. No. So that's going to give Larry his ball in hand chance. Have a look at the table, see the way the balls are sitting, and then make your move. Now that might be slightly the wrong angle. He might just run through here and leave the 3 long, I don't know. Or is he trying to just draw it back? See, that's him now out of shape slightly. He's just overhit that. And whenever you do that and you have too much angle, you're then letting the cue ball run. So he's got to get back up the top side of the table now. Oh, I don't know what he did there, but he certainly didn't get that anywhere near where he wanted it. But too much, didn't actually go through in the shot. He wanted anywhere up here in that area, and he had his shot in the 4. Now, what's he going for here? The bank into the corner. And he's lined up the bank, hasn't got it, but he's more or less got away with it. So that was a poor one from Larry there, trying to get back up the table. Needed a lot more juice into that shot. And another result come through, DJ Redo against Spectre Dawn. Spectre Dawn has won by 7 racks to 4, so all the match results in the first round are flying in. Excuse me. This one still goes on, and it might be a bit longer if Hazard can somehow get himself another couple of racks. It might make it interesting. Again, that's slightly short. Now he's back in reasonable enough position, probably just the long draw. Back up to the top rail. No, he's managed to squeeze the angle to get around the corner. So Larry is going to be needing 1 more rack. Now let's see if he can get a ball in the break this time. He's going to try something different. And this time he's got the 6 ball. 1 ball over that top corner pocket. And the 5 ball has just decided to roll right in front of it and block him out. And once again, these balls are sitting for the taking by whoever gets in first. Hazard might well go for the bank here, but he's not going to be anywhere near the 2 ball. And that's why he's just decided to hide. And Larry kicks the 1 in. Obviously, it's a bit of luck because he's got no shot in the 2. And he can only see half of the 2 ball. And he tried to drag that cue ball and squeeze it over to the 4 there. Let's look at this angle. It needs to just slow down, and that will do it. And I'm remembering this time that Hazard only needs to get to the 7 ball. He must have an angle on this 4. And he's gone pretty straight. And now it's a bit of a hit and hope here to get the pace right in this, to get that cue ball out. Well, he's not risking it, so now he's leaving himself at distance. Now, if he kills the cue ball where the 5 is, I don't know whether he can, because I think he's got too much angle. No, he's okay, because that means he's got enough angle in the 7 just to come out for the 8 into that middle. He needs to keep running, because the straighter the better. And then I forgot. Then I've went and forgotten straight away again that he didn't need the 8. Jesus. You think I'm doing this deliberately, but and my mind goes totally blank when I'm studying the table. I just keep forgetting about the handicap. I cannot get it into my head. But it doesn't matter because Hazard has got 1 back. He's still trailing by 3. And yet another result goes through. Well, Miasma did manage to make the tournament. But he's going to have to battle his way through the 1 loss side. No, sorry, not Miasma, Simanx. Well, how do we pronounce that? Miasma has beaten Simanx 7-6. Larry's missed a hit. Hazard has ball in hand again. But it's not ideal because of where that 3 ball is. And he wants to try and get this onto the rail pretty much, make it as easy as possible. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that is a complete hash, that shot. Trying to play it gentle to get to the rail and didn't get the 2 ball to the pocket. And he's given Larry ball in hand. And there's another result. That must be all the first round matches done apart from this one. John Boo has beaten LS3 by 7 racks to 5. And Larry's finished dead straight in a 3. And now it's a little roll through for possibly the long 6 ball. I don't know whether he can get nice on it to drop it into the middle. No, it's going to be into the top pocket. No, is he lining up the middle pocket here? It's got to be long, surely. No, it is long. Well, Larry's... I mean, that's about 3 shots where he's under hit them. But in goes the 7. He's not got a great angle on this 8. He's going to have to play a little draggy shot, or he's playing left-hand English to try and just hold it, and he's managed to do it. And this 9 ball will take Larry through to the second round. Hazard goes off to the one loss side, which I was advised earlier he may well just be forfeiting. But anyway, Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 3. And let's have a look at where we are. Well, that is all the results through for the first round matches. And we can see that Larry's now going to be playing Houdini. The handicap is still to be added. Capo is playing John Boo. Capo getting the 6 ball in that match. Semi-Pro is playing Snakes. And Snakes is getting the 8 ball. And Spectre Dawn is playing Miasma. And Miasma is getting 6 and out. So the match we're going to go into now is this match here between Semi-Pro and Snakes. And we're into rack number 3. Snakes at the table, getting the 8 ball. And we know where the problem is for him. From the 5 to the 6. And that 6 and 9 aren't set for a combo. And the only way you would play that shot is if you were directly behind that 6 ball to try and line up a combo. So it's more than likely going to be a bank. Now that's the type of thing you have to be thinking about even before you've played the 4 ball. I never even noticed the 8 ball hanging over that top right hand corner pocket. He could have nudged that in there, but he's overcut the 4 and he's left Semi-Pro hooked behind the 5, the 6 and 9. It's an easy kick off the left side rail and he could get lucky. Let's have a look at this. That's nowhere near set anyway, that at all, that 6 ball. I mean, we can see it goes into the middle, but once again it's just dropping the 4 in and playing a soft 5 to finish behind the 6. But you have to get it as straight as you can to make it easy. You don't have to worry about the 7. So this is a crucial shot, is getting as straight as he can on that 6 ball. And he's got the angle on the 5 to allow him to do it. And that'll do. So just a gentle drop in off that far jaw in the middle pocket and he'll be sitting pretty in the 7. And he wants to be on that top rail if he can. Just push it through. Well, he's hit that soft. Let's have a look here. He's okay. He only needed the 8 ball anyway. Forgotten again. So Snakes is off and running. Into rack number 4. And he's scratched off the break. And these balls again are sitting not too bad, inviting the run out for Semi-Pro. The 7 ball has gone down off the break. Looks like a little stun over to the right hand side. Well, he's stunned the other side of the 3. The only problem with that is I don't know whether they can draw off the 3 and hold for the 4. You see, that's the danger of doing that. He was going to either be hooked by the 6 or what happened there, scratch the middle. Now, what the hell is Snakes doing here? Why is he playing the combo in the 4 and the 6? That is stupid. That is a really dumb shot. I don't care what anybody says. The guy cannot be thinking straight to do that. I mean, that's the stupidest shot I've seen, and I've seen some crazy shots, but ball in hand, he rolls the 4 and he pots the 5. He takes the 6 long into that top left-hand corner pocket. He comes back for the 8 and rack over. A total balls up, if ever I've seen one. And somebody needs to ask him what the hell that was all about, because that was the dumbest shot I've seen. I mean, what's he trying to do? Is he trying to look cool because he played the nice combo in the 6 in the middle and then he misses it anyway? And now he looks a complete numpty. He's totally pissed then, right? Well, I think even if I was totally pissed, I still wouldn't have played that shot. And he's just gifted the rack to semi-pro. And semi-pro has made the mistake. And there you go. That's what happens when you make the mistake at the business end of the rack. But really, I mean, if anything, just to punish Snakes for that stupid shot, semi-pro should have buried that. Just to knock it home. Well, if that's two people saying the same thing, I think maybe you've got a point. But dearie me, that was awful. I'm glad we've got it in tape, because any time I see him in the lobby, I'll be showing him it. So we're somehow at 2 racks all here in this match. Snakes is getting the 8 ball. Semi-pro's jumped himself out of snooker. And doesn't really, I think, have a shot in the 3, has he? He can just squeeze it in. A little draw. Now it should definitely be 3-2. Straightforward 8 ball. Cue ball out for the 9. So we're into rack number 6. Semi-pro breaking off. This is a round 2 match on the winner's side. 2 ball goes in. And it's going to have to be the bank on the 1 ball. And the 3 ball doesn't have a pocket at the top end of the table. So the cue ball's going to have to run around the table here, and he just has to hope he gets lucky. Got the bank. Now, where's the luck? Oh, that's the ugliest place you want to be, queuing right over the 9 ball. And this is not the type of shot you want. Yeah, that multiplies the difficulty of the shot by 10 times at least. Queuing right down over the ball, you're not looking at the object ball. And meanwhile, Snakes again has got himself straight out of line, so he should be looking at a safety here. An easy safety on. Just push that 4 ball between the 9 and the 6. And he's gone all out for the cut. Has he got lucky? Yes, he has. So he's grabbed the bull by the horns. I thought he would go for the safety, but he went for the thin cut. Is he going to get the reward though? Can he take it? Can he stop seeing double? He might be seeing still 8 balls on the table here. 2 6 balls, 2 7s, and 2 8s and 2 9s, but he only needs to get half of them, and he's gone pretty straight in this 7. And the power that he needed to get him to the 8 is what was the undoing of him. Slightly offline in these pockets, they're going to rattle out. I mean, he's got lucky. And that's tight on the rail. And it's not for cutting, but I don't know whether Semi-Pro's trying to thin it in. No. Not on. But I'd be going for the kick here, off the long rail. I would have went for it. Up and down, onto the 7. You've got a good chance of knocking it in. And if you don't hit it too hard, you've still got a cut in the 8 at distance. But of course, Semi-Pro needs all of these balls. And Snakes just needs to get a shot on that 8 if he can get this 7 somehow. Well, this time, Semi-Pro's taking the opportunity. He had the angle to get the distance. And now he's left Snakes with a dilemma because the bank is on. It's all out for the bank. He certainly doesn't look as if he's lining up the bank. Well, he is now. But he didn't get it right. So his chance might have gone. How does that look from Semi-Pro's end? Well, there's a nice angle there. Plenty of room to get this cue ball up the table. That needs to bounce. This rack isn't over yet, folks. 9 balls smack bang in the middle of the table. It looks all too easy. And that's what can happen. But Semi-Pro has got lucky, although that is a reasonable bank. Is he going for the thin one again? Oh, that almost went badly wrong. That double kiss there. Well, this time, Semi-Pro's going for the kick. And he's played it well. And a gentle roll in for the 9. Will open up a 2-rack gap here. Or a firm stun, whichever you prefer. And Snakes has just called. Well, I think you're right enough. He must be pissed. He's probably pissing strong lager. And we've got a result through from the one loss side. And Hazard is going to have the early night. Tommy the Welder's beaten him by 4 racks to 0. Semi-Pro just biding his time until Snakes comes back. He might go to the bathroom and end up just sitting on top of the pan half asleep and forget to come back. stranger things have happened with inebriated people trying to play virtual pool. Oh, organising a wedding. Whose wedding is it you're organising? I'll tell you, it's not only, that's not the only stress, it's a stress in the bloody pocket as well. So Snakes has got himself back. Meanwhile, Semi-Pro has broken off in rack number 7 and has scratched on the break. So once again, well, it'd be an opportunity for a run out if that 4 wasn't really as close to the 9. Again, it's a problem. We can see that it will go into that corner, but once again, it only goes if you're in a good position to make the cut. In fact, it might even be tight. So that's the problem, is dealing with a 4 ball. Now, can he get the potting angle on this 4? Aye, I think it's on. Don't forget about the 5 ball though. And that will do. Oh, he's going to have to get this cue ball out off the rail, get it out into the table somewhere here. I don't know the angle he's got. He certainly can't play the 6 from behind the 7, surely. He's got to come out into the table. Well, that will do. He's nudged on to the 7. He wants to be inside the 7 if he can, unless he wants to come back, because he doesn't want to leave himself the wrong angle on the 7. He's probably safer coming back. Can he avoid hitting it though? I don't like the angle. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, see, that's dangerous, that shot. That is dangerous. That middle pocket is threatening. It's not the way I would have played it, but he's come off the tip. And now this 8 ball, to get one back. Now, I hope he's not thinking about getting in the 9. He doesn't want to be doing that. He just wants to be totally focused on the 8 ball. Is that going to get there? I don't think it is. And there's a result through. Capo's beaten John Boo by 7 racks to 3. And meanwhile, Snakes is just throwing another rack away there. Totally under hit the 8 ball. And it's an easy out for Semi-Pro. So in to rack number 8. Semi-Pro breaking off with a 5 racks to 2 lead. And nothing doing but a shot on for Snakes. Well, he should be out here. And that's not the shot he wanted to play. Why he didn't just roll through and take the 3 in the middle, I don't know, because he didn't need to do anything to get on the 4, and he's just making it more of a problem, creating problems when he don't need to have them. But he's back online. And that could have gone really ugly there. It's just held up. And it's now getting more and more out of shape. He's going to have a little thin one for the rack. And he's pushed at it, and he might have got lucky. So it's going to have to be the kick in here for semi-pro, as long as he can pick his line off that long rail between that first diamond near the middle pocket and the second diamond, somewhere in that line. And he's just clipped it and no more. That was well done. Just caught the edge, just enough to give it momentum to fall over the edge. But that was a chance thrown away again there. And it all came about because you play that wrong shot, get yourself out of line slightly, and then it just goes from bad to worse. And it went wrong when he took that 3 ball in the wrong pocket, as far as I'm concerned. So it's now 6-2 to semi-pro. And it's all, I keep saying, it's always about playing the right shot to make the next shot simpler. And Snakes just went on the wrong path. And in the end, it was a path to disaster. He left himself the high cut in the 8 ball, and that was the ball he needed for the rack. He got a wee bit of luck, and he's got another wee bit of luck. Semi-pro going for the tough cut in the 1. Has given ball in hand to Snakes. And I think Snakes is done for the night. I think he's looking out of one eye at the moment. And semi-pro going for the big power shot, and well, he's going to jump himself out of trouble. Well, it's a simple safety shot. He's pushed that 5 ball somewhere up that end of the table there. And he's gone all out. I think semi-pros came to the conclusion there's not much he's going to have to do to win this match, so he just took the risk. Well, Snakes hasn't got the cover, so Semi is going to go for the bank here and try and hold for that 6 ball. No, he decided not. That's a surprise. I would have just went all out for the bank. If you're 6-2 up, you might as well. And sometimes, if you're waiting for a better chance, that better chance might not come. And well, Snakes is partially hooked on the 5. You can see an edge of it. And where's the cue ball going? Well, there's the better chance coming now. It's ball in hand for semi-pro. And he's left himself a nice little angle in the 6. Just to punch the cue ball up the table. And now he has to get beyond the middle pockets far enough to leave the shot on the 8. And he's overhit it into a blind pocket. And the result through from the second round, Larry has beaten Houdini by 7 racks to 2. Semi-pro all out for the 8 ball. Gets a little nudge on the jaw and he's scratched, and it's a gift for Snakes to get one back. A couple of balls have gone, but no luck. No luck at all. We've lost the 3 and we've lost the 7. But Snakes has got no shot in the 1. Trying to get this really thin, and he's caught the jaw. Now, well, the 2 ball goes. That can certainly be cheated into the pocket. And he's just a little gentle roll will do it. Well, he's gone too far. So now he's made the shot doubly difficult, cutting this and trying not to cut it into the 8 ball. Could easily catch an edge here. And that's where he went wrong. Again, just going through too far and leaving that higher angle. It just multiplies the difficulty of the shot. And Semi-Pro doesn't want to be starting to get careless here. He might be up 6-3. But it could possibly... Well, that little kiss there has done Snakes a favour. And then another result through. Spectre Dawn has beaten Miasma 7 racks to 5. Now, big, wide open space on this right hand side of the table for Snakes to get a shot in the 6. And now it's gone wrong because he's going to have to go with a bit of spin here to get back over to the left hand side and the top end of the table to have a shot on the 8. And this cue ball, when it's running round, there's 6 pockets for it to drop in, so he's got to be careful. And he doesn't want to go anywhere near that 9 if he can help it. And I think he's got away with it. So this to pinch another one back. And back to 6-4. And the ball has gone in. And look at the 1-8. It's not a set combo, but surely he's got to go for it. Or he goes for the billiard. The billiard looks much better to me. The billiard off the 1 onto the 8. Got to be the shot. And this would be a quick rack to win. And in it goes. And we've now got a match on. Stranger things have happened. And where's the 4 ball going? Is it going to go? Yes, it is. And he's got a shot in the 1. He's got a shot in the 2. No problem with the 7 ball. It's out in the open. And this is where this match could turn right on its head. And he's not played that right. That was a dead stun onto the rail to come out. I think he actually got a wee bit of bottom on that, because he's now left himself the higher angle on the 2. Okay, he's going to have a shot in the 3, but he's just made the shot difficult. And now he's back in line. And this is where you just have to stop yourself and take your time and make sure you're playing the shot right. Now he has to make a choice here. The choice is either to go up the table for the 6 or to come across off that left-hand rail with maybe a bit of English just to come over this side for the 6. So he has a choice. He can go that way or he can come across this way. So he's gone the long way. And that is perfect. Doesn't need to do anything other than focus on the 6 and pot the 6. He's on the 7, no problem. Oh dear. So this to tie the match up. Or this and the 8 ball, I should say. Now, hopefully he's gone and had a wee look at it. He's knocked it in, and we're definitely tied. And these last couple of racks, Snakes has been getting a ball in the break. And that's what's made the difference. And the 8 ball has gone in, another ball's gone in. 8 ball gets respotted, and the worst thing about that is the 5 went in, and the 8 is now tied up with the 9. And he's had a blast at the 1. Well, it's not frozen to the rail. There's a couple of millimetres there for semi-pro to work with. But the big problem is going to be that 8 ball. Well, that 8 ball, there is a possibility it can be cut from that side. And meanwhile, Semi-Pro has an option of the bank on the 1. But it's all going to hinge on the 8 and 9, this rack. The bank goes in, the cue ball's gone safe. Well, he's left a shot in the 2, but it's not a gimme. And just trying to drop dead weight behind the 3. Played it well enough. Just got the 2 offline. And now it's going to be a test of nerves. Well, that was a weak one from Semi-Pro. Well short of pace. And again, I don't know what Snakes tried there. It was a half-hearted attempt at a bank, I think. After getting himself back into this match, he doesn't want to be just throwing it away. And Semi-Pro has taken the opportunity. He breaks the 8 and the 9. The 4 will still go. So he's going all out for the match. And this is going to be the shot, I think, that will decide it. If he can just tuck this 4-ball down the rail. Again, it's off the rail, and he's got the perfect angle to drop behind the 6. And that is ideal. A little draggy, soft draw. And it looks like it's going to have to be the long 8-ball into this bottom right hand corner, unless he wants to try and force a cue ball up the table, but it's not worth taking the risk, because he can drop the 8 in and just kill the cue ball, or come back an inch or 2 for the 9. So given the opportunity, Semi-Pro took it, potted the 2 or whatever ball it was, breaks the 8 and 9, and goes all out for the match and gets his reward, and he wins the final rack decider against Snakes by 7 racks to 6. So, well, lots of results have come through. Let's have a look at the bracket. And, well, we know that any time Larry faces Capo, Larry's going to be up against this multi-ball handicap. And Larry's giving away 6 and out to Capo. It's 1 rack all. We've got Spectre Dawn awaiting the winner of the match we've just seen, and that's Semi-Pro against Spectre Dawn. Well, that's the match we're going to have to watch. Let's have a look at the one loss side. DJ Redo's playing Houdini, race to 4. DJ Redo's up 1-0. CTP sitting waiting on a player to come through from that match. And Snakes is now set to play LS3, and Miasma is playing Tommy the Welder, and they're 1 rack all. Is it Mr. 9-ball? 3-1 Larry, Mr. 9-ball. Oh, what are you watching? What are you looking at, Potman? I'm looking at this here. Larry's playing Capo the way I'm looking at it. Did I say 1 each? Oh, it is a 3. Ah, well, that's because I can't see. I thought that was a 1. Let's have a look close. I need to get out my chair. Yeah, Larry is up 3-1, you're right. Right, so let's nip in to the Semi-Pro. But who's Mr. 9-ball? Oh, he's talking. I think he's addressing me. I think that's what he means. I thought he's talking about the player. I thought he was talking about Mr. I'm thinking, who the hell's Larry meant to be playing? I thought he was playing Capo. But it was me that called the wrong score. So, Semi-Pro's going to get more exposure in this match. We've got 2 of the listed favourites to win this tournament up against one another, so something has to give. We're in the first rack. It's a scratch match. The stream going down where? You're on YouTube. Right, good. So as I say, this is a race to 7 in round 3 on the winner's side. And we've got Semi-Pro against Spectre Dawn. No handicap, no money ball, just a straight scratch match. Semi-Pro at the table. And it looks like Semi-Pro is going to be off and running here. I can't see where the problem's going to be. Yeah, well, with this this calibre of player playing each other, you'd expect to see something, some quality. Or at least that's what I'm expecting. So Semi-Pro gets the first one on the board. Winner breaks, remember. And that cue ball has just dropped into the pocket, and now Spectre Dawn has a choice. He's got ball in hand. He can go for the run out, or he can, if he was desperate enough, he could go for the 1-9 combo. But these balls are sitting pretty nice. So it's all about control of the cue ball. And he's stunned into the 8. And now this angle he has in the 4, he just has to be careful here. He either makes up his mind to come back and take the 5 into the left middle, or he follows through and comes off the side rail and the top rail, or out into the table like that for the 5, because he was messing with that middle right pocket there. He didn't want to be doing that. Once again, anywhere in the top half of the table will do. And the further he goes, the easier it is to get onto the 8. And I think he's left himself a wee bit short, but that's fine with a bit of English. So this is a very quick response by Spectre Dawn. The run out, and we're all square, 1 rack all. And that was one of those kind of hefty breaks where the balls don't seem to want to split very well. And again, I think the further you go left or right in this table, or in VP4, the more deader the breaks can be. You don't want to go too close to the left or right rail when you're breaking off. I mean, sometimes I'll do it out of desperation because I can't get a ball in the break any other way, but I tend to find that if I do break from the left and right sides, it tends to give me a deader break, and you don't get a good spread. Well, Semi-Pro's kicked at the 1. He's managed to fluke the 7 along the top rail, and well, now he's just looking for cover here, I would think. Oh, I don't know whether he was convinced he could try and squeeze that past there, but it sneaked out, and there's enough of it off the rail for Spectre Dawn to be having a go at this. And there's another result come through, but I can't see it because my little timer is right in the middle of my screen, and I can't see who won. But DJ Redo was playing Houdini. Well, it would have been a one-loss side match anyway. Now he has to get up the table again. Or down the table towards us. And that is perfect. He can just drop that in with a little bit of help in English if he needs it. Well, he's went for the stun. 4-0 to DJ Redo, thank you. So Spectre Dawn has now got himself a 2-1 lead, breaking off in rack number 4. Now, both players know they're not going to get many chances in a rack, and well, that's a good spread. If only the 2-ball hadn't got itself too close to the 1. So the ball that's gone down is a 4-ball, Spectre Dawn. And, well, I think he can just actually maybe a wee bit of right hand side and clip that 1 and billiard the 2 in. I don't know whether he can do anything else to help that 2 in, but he's decided against it. Yeah, I don't think the 1 is going in, even if you try to cheat it. There's it's too much angle. And another result through, and Larry has beaten Capo by 7 racks to 2. Semi-pro, well, he's got lucky there. Well, that's now ended up unlucky. He's fluked to 2-ball and got himself locked behind the 8. Played the kick out, and it's a kick safe. Only the Filipinos play them shots. Easy enough to get out for Spectre Dawn. Now, is he going to try and jump this 1 and clip it towards that 6 and 7? Well, he didn't go over the 3, so that was a poor jump. And it's given Semi-Pro a chance. Good evening, Bedhead. Tournament's been on for just over an hour and a half. We are well into it. And Semi-Pro tried to push the 1 past the 6 and 7 and didn't get there. Well, the 1 is obviously blocked by the 7. Spectre Dawn just trying to get some sort of cover, which he's got. I think he can clip the 1 through the between the 6 and 7. Yeah, I'm still off this week. I'm off until back to work Monday, so that's why I'm able to do the 2 Friday night 9-balls last week and this week. We can do them all, do it all to the end. I just hope it doesn't last 4 hours 20 minutes like last week's. Well, another miss by Spectre Dawn, and it's been... well, it's not left anything easy here for Semi-Pro. Oh, there's a yawning started. Well, Semi-Pro went for the pot. No guarantee of getting any decent position in the 5, but it's given Spectre Dawn the chance to bank the 3. He's missed the bank, but look what he's left Semi-Pro. Absolutely nothing, so he's going to have to go for the kick off the long rail on the left hand side onto that 3. Oh, that's unlucky. Almost had the line. So straight away it's back to Spectre Dawn. And this could now give him a bit of breathing space here. There's always the danger in going from this 8 ball to the 9. It looks so easy. But how many times have I said this? You don't want to go on the top side of that 9 like this, because that looks as if it's going to almost get there. No, he's holding up. You want to be somewhere there. Makes it a lot easier. But he's actually finished nicely on it. And more importantly, there is a window for Spectre Dawn. There's a bit of daylight there. He now leads by 3 racks to 1. Now you see how those balls broke? Those balls broke nice and loose. Okay, they're more or less all gathered to the right hand side of the table, but you can see what I mean, that sometimes when you break further left and right in Virtual Pool 4, it deadens the break. I think I just seem to think I get a lot more sort of deader breaks where the balls don't want to split. But it is not a perfect table by all means. We've got the 5 and the 7 over on the right hand side there, and they're not sitting pretty, although they're now opened up now. But Semi-Pro's missed the 2. Spectre Dawn, I don't think has a shot. And he's missed the 2. So somehow or other, Semi-Pro has got ball in hand. He has a chance here, but he's got work to do. And the 2 and back onto the 3 into the left middle isn't a problem. In fact, he's going to have to leave it long now, I think. Just a little roll through. But the problem's the 5 ball. Now he's going to have to be brave and play for the gap, surely. Let's have a look. Can he find the gap? That's what he tried for, and he's, believe it or not, he got there. That is unlucky. He got there. He could make the cut on that 5, but Spectre Dawn has a much better opportunity. He's just got to find the weight. Well, he's trying to get between the 8 and 9 onto the rail, and he's actually finished pretty much the same shot that Semi-Pro would have had. Oh, this'll hurt this one. This will hurt. Semi-Pro had a chance, and the difficulty is finding the gap between the 8 and 9. And he almost had it. And Spectre Dawn has got himself nicely on the 6 ball, but he's still got problems to deal with here. The simplest one is going all around the corner and out into the middle of the table. Nothing fancy, just get a good bit of top on it and get yourself around and into the table to have a shot. He's just a wee bit short. It's just a wee bit more square than is ideal. And there you go. It's always the problem. You leave yourself that wee bit more to do with the shot. You're thinking more in that shot and holding for the 8. And that's what caused the miss. And Semi-Pro has got... Well, this isn't a gimme either, this 8 ball. And that's what happens. I mean, when the pressure's on, the mind starts playing funny tricks with you. That wee voice in your head starts working, and it's all about not listening to it, or listening to it sometimes. But maybe Semi-Pro isn't going to get another chance here. This is a crucial rack in this match. or it's developed into a crucial rack. And Spectre Dawn, well, it looked as if he lined up the billiard off the 8 into the middle, off the 9, sorry, with the 8 ball. But it's now gifted Semi-Pro his chance. And surely this time he'll put it away. Well, this could have a big bearing on the outcome of this match. I think it may well have. Because, let's face it, Semi-Pro should have been dead and buried in this rack. And that shot that Spectre Dawn left short on the 7 ball has cost him dear. And meanwhile, Semi-Pro is trying anything to get a decent break. And he still can't get it. The 3 ball has gone down. And he's now hooked in the 1. Well, welcome aboard. I'm the only person that does stream VP4 on Twitch. If you go into Twitch any time, you'll never find anybody streaming anything. Because it's not one of these wee Japanesey, silly, jumping up and down and shooting things and Minecraft and all of that crap that they show on it. Oh, I've never seen anybody called Bazru streaming. Have you ever played online? Because I've never seen that name in the lobby online. A lot of people play VP4, and yeah, that's what I was just going to say. There's lots of people get VP4 and they only ever play offline. And, you know, take my advice. Offline, you're cheating yourself a lot of the time because you're playing the AI players. Unless you're playing somebody that's sitting in the room with you, you're playing AI players that are either so bloody hopeless or they have got telescopic sights and they don't miss anything. You want to get yourself online. That's where the true test of your abilities are, and it's also where, if you play the right people, you'll end up being a much better player. Now, you're watching 2 of the favourites for this tournament tonight. 2 of the better class of player. So you're more than welcome to stay with us if you want. We're going to go all the way. We'll show you the tournament bracket. In fact, we'll do it now while they're messing about here. Hang on. This is a match that we're watching. Semi-Pro and Spectre Dawn. And the winner of this match is going to go through and play Larry, who's another long-time virtual pool player. And they're going to be playing the match that... well, that will be the hot seat match to see who's first through to tonight's final. We've got the one lost side over here, which will be stalled for a little while until we get this result through. But we should be here for maybe another couple of hours. So if you get any other... there's a good idea. If you get any friends that play Virtual Pool 4, send them a tag. Get them on to join the stream. So, Semi-Pro has his chance to square the match. That cue ball has to keep running. It needs to get there. And he's pretty much okay. Now, just to let you know, this is an exceptional couple of weeks for me because I've managed to stream last week's tournament and this week's tournament. Most of the time I can stream some of the Friday night tournament, but not all of it, because I usually have to go to bed about 10:30 UK time, because I'm an early riser. I have to get up early for work, but some of the other time I'm streaming Euro Truck stuff or American Truck, but not an awful lot. So we're into rack number 7. We've got a tied ball game, as they say in the States. And we've also got a dry break by Semi-Pro. And Spectre Dawn looking for cover, but I don't think he's got there. He's under hit the cue ball. And albeit he's left the 1 ball open, but the 2 ball is not exactly in an inviting position to pot it. Well, he's done his best. He can certainly knock the 2 in off the 8. That shouldn't be an awful big task. Oh, and that's played very nicely, well controlled. And he's got a nice little angle on the 3. Can come off the side rail and back across. Well, he's drawn across, but the important thing is he leaves an angle. You've got to leave yourself that angle to get the cue ball out. It needs to keep rolling again. The pace looks good. Well, the 10 ball tournament or any sort of virtual world championship tournament is held off for the time being until the non-real time tournament system is actually fixed, and to make sure that it's working okay. You would have to ask Tin if they're happy. Oh, don't tell me he's made a complete hash of that. Well, there's the second worst shot of the night. We saw one earlier on by Snakes, but that's the second worst one. And he's managed to get the jump. He's got the little kick off the jaw. And now he's got a nasty thin cut in the 9. Yeah, the NRT tournament system's not reliable. You know that from the way it's cocked up some of those tournaments in the past. So Tin and Steve have supposedly been testing it, so it's once they're happy it's working, then we'll have a big tournament of some description. Although I don't know what it is, but I told Tin it should be the US Open again, because it's more than 18 months since the last one. But I don't think he has in the habit of really listening to advice. But anyway, Semi-Pro, well, he got himself out of jail there. Made a hash of a shot, hooking himself behind the 8, or whatever it was. But he's got himself back into the lead, and he should really be on a 2-rack gap here in a minute or 2. Oh, well, I thought he would have tried to draw away from that there. He was hoping for a nicer kiss than that in the 4. So now he's in trouble. Well, obviously he's going to hit the 9. Where's that ball going to end up? Well, he's still in the open, and now it's a dead weight roll in the 5. Just to drop past the 6. Now, is that too straight? Oh, he's got a wee bit of an angle. And that will do. So it looks as if Semi-Pro is making his move here. And he's going to give himself a 2-rack lead. Another result through. LS3 has beaten Snakes by the odd rack. Final rack decider, 4 racks to 3. And now Semi-Pro breaking open rack number 9 with a 2-rack cushion and hoping for a ball and a bit of luck. Well, the only bit of luck there is he's left to 5 and 3 and a bit of a mess on the left hand side. Not an easy shot in the one. Another result through. CTP against DJ Redo on the 1 lost side. So the 1 lost side's moving on, but it won't move any further until this result comes through. But DJ Redo has beaten CTP by 4 racks to 3. Semi-Pro looking for cover. He's almost got there, but we can see that the problem lies ahead for either player, dealing with that 3 and 5. That's gone a bit too far. Well, Spectre Dawn, there's not much point, I think, in potting the 2 into the middle. And he maybe could have played a better safety than that, because he might be in deep trouble here in a second. And now what he wants to do is, he doesn't want to be really making a lot of movement here, and he hasn't. Luckily for him, he's hit the 7 and hasn't split the 2 and 3, and so the real option here for Semi-Pro is to somehow try and get a 3 foul going here, but I don't think he's going to get a lot from that side. No, he's left the edge of the 2. Might have been better trying to travel a wee bit and get that cue ball hidden somewhere. So the situation still isn't any better. A free ball doing nothing. Semi-Pro might end up just brushing the 2 back towards the 3. Cue ball scratched. Well, now it's Spectre Dawn with a chance. Now, can he get this cue ball over by the 8 ball? And I don't know why they're not trying it, but to me the angle's there to do it. If you get the cue ball and skim it off the 2, you can get it over into that corner. Make it a lot more difficult to make the hit. Well, that's worked out, but it's still not tight enough, so it's an easy jump. And now Semi-Pro has to be careful though, because if he's going to jump, he has to try and avoid the split. And that's, well, it's still relatively safe, even though he's scratched. But the other thing is, Spectre Dawn's looking to miss the 6. Well, no, he's content to try and play the combo, I assume. I thought he'd have just tried to break them there, but he's not even bothering with that. So Spectre Dawn is, well, he has gone, he's lined it up and gone all out for it. So it's all out attack now, trailing by 2 racks. Right hand spin off the top rail, punches the cue ball up the table but over to the right. And slightly the wrong angle in the 6, but again the inside English checks the cue ball back up the table. Well, just to be on the safe side, you play this as a little stun shot, just to make sure you don't play it soft and you roll near the 9 and make an ass of it. So he's played the stun. Inspector Dawn is back to within 1. We're into rack number 10. Race to 7. 9 ball threatened to go in, which would have been respotted anyway, but nothing has gone. And once again, well, that 3 ball, somebody would need to convince me that that would go past the 5 if it came to it. But Semi-Pro has missed the 1. Well, we're about to find out if Spectre Dawn can get from this 2 onto this 3. Well, we know that the 3 ball goes down the rail into this bottom right hand corner pocket. Now surely with the angle that he has, that's what he's going to be playing. He's looking down the rail, but I'm not convinced. It's very tight, and any nudge on that 5 and the 3 ball won't go anywhere. Well, if it had missed that 9 ball, it maybe still had too much pace on it. But now he's got himself hooked. Where am I going here? Hang on. Yeah, it's an easy enough kick to hit the 3. The problem with going from this side is that the chances are he was going to leave something on anyway. And now he's given ball in hand. And everything's now in the open for Semi-Pro. And that's the angle that you need just to get nicely over for the 5. Now, to make life simple here, well, I say nicely over for the 5, but again, that is a poor one. The plan should have been to get this side of the 6. You don't want to be playing the 6 from here. Well, he's managed to cut the 5 and look at where the 7 ball's gone. That is how simple it is to get yourself into trouble from what was a gilt edge opportunity to get the match back all square. He's now got himself in bother. And the double kiss, well, it might have helped him because he's got to the top rail more or less, and he's left nothing easy here. But once again, if Spectre Dawn can pinch this one, we'll be back all square. But this is all out attack if he goes for this. And he's gone for the cut in the 6. He's played it well, and that's ended up not too bad in the 7. We can see that the 8 ball has plenty of room, but you need to get good on it to make it comfortable. You see how much that 9 ball comes into play when you're playing it from this side, because you then start to get those little thoughts going through your head about the 9 ball. And there you go, commentator's eye again. That's what happens, and he can see an edge of the 8. Well, I would have hit that a heck of a lot harder than that to get the cue ball anywhere up the table here. And, well, that has to keep going if Semi-Pro's going to get himself out of jail in that shot, because he played it with soft inside English to make the cut, but you have to go all out surely to get the cue ball up the table and not put yourself in that predicament. And his chance is gone, and it's definitely all square. Well, that might have hurt that one, because he knows how good a chance that was. And I keep saying about getting yourself a good line. A shot can look easy enough when you're right behind it, but when that 9 ball is there adjacent to the 8 ball and you've got 2/3 of a pocket to go for, if you're straight on it, you never miss it. But when you're playing across the table with that angle in the shot, it's amazing how much that 9 ball is in your sight. You know it's there. And what do? You clip the 8 ball off it. So anyway, we've got a match that is going to go either way. And that's a good one. That cue ball, if it keeps going, that is an excellent safety by Semi-Pro. Excellent from the point of view that the hit point for this 1 ball, the middle pocket's somewhere near the line to get the kick. He might try and straighten up the line with left-hand English here, but even so, it doesn't look good from where I'm looking. Oh, he's got the hit. And he's got the luck. Well, Spectre Dawn will be playing the 1-5 combo, I'm pretty certain of that. It's not a difficult combo. It's easy to make. And the only problem though is where the 1 ball was going to end up. Well, the bank is on in the 1. You have to play it from the left-hand side, but he's decided against it. But he could have played the bank. But it's one of them you have to make. It's not set in any way. You have to actually make the banking angle. Well, that cue ball chipped straight onto the 8 ball, and the cue ball, the 1 ball just left exactly where it was. It hasn't moved. And this might end up not too bad. Well, there's half a ball showing, I think. And he's also hampered over that 7 ball, which makes the shot even more difficult to get the control you want. If you're trying to play thin off the edge of this one, very easy to just bring it out. So he's going to bank it up the table. And he's left it on, and he's left the angle. And you would think that if Spectre Dawn can get good on this too... Oh dear. Well, it's still not going to be an issue. He'll be out with the jump stick any second. But the 4 ball is obviously blocked into that top pocket by the 7. So, again, he just needs that bit of extra travel in the cue ball to get anywhere near the 4. Now, is it going to be another combo? If he's going all out, he's going to look at the line. And this, again, is not a difficult one. It's just about... It's as if you're just trying to pot the 4 ball into the rail. And he's played it well. Well, semi-pro has seen his lead dwindle, and now he's going to be trailing. So Spectre Dawn moves on to the hill, and he's breaking off in rack number 12, the one that he needs to take him through to the next round. You see, he's breaking on the left hand side. Well, the 5 and 6 are locked up, so there's no run out on here. Could be a 1-7 combo. But playing a 1-7 combo, the one ball itself, you've no idea where it's going. So he just played the push out. Now he hasn't hooked himself. I think he's hooked him. So I think semi-pro should be putting him back in. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why he didn't put him back in there. Semi-pro couldn't see that ball from the push out, and he should have stuck him back in. Now, could that be a mistake? Oh, Semi played the push. Did he push back then? Did I miss that? My head's screwed up at this time of night. Aye, right, he did. I missed the message up in the top right hand corner there. I was thinking that. Anyway, Spectre Dawn's chance to win the match is definitely on. The problem ball's a 6 ball. And let's look at it from behind the shot. Well, he's going to have to either go around the angles, because the angle here isn't particularly great. I would be more inclined to go right around the angles, because that way you know the cue ball is going to have a shot in the 6, and then of course the 7 ball's there, so you don't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Well, he's trying to just roll it in, but you see the problem there is you're leaving yourself this high cut down the rail. If you get it, you look good, but this is just multiplied the difficulty of the shot here. It's no problem with the 7, and it all hinges on this shot. And it's managed to hug the rail far enough. It was beginning to escape, but he's okay. Oh, where's this cue ball going? And we're back into this no man's land situation here. And there could be a glimmer here for semi-pro. This is an all or nothing shot. And it's going to have to be the bank, and that bank is more or less set. It's either going to go straight in or it's going to double bank, but 9 times out of 10 this goes in. I wouldn't be looking at any other option other than the bank. A reasonable pace and give it a chance. Well, he's gone all out for the cut. To me, the 2-in-1 shot with the bank was a much easier shot than going for the cut at that distance. And we're going all the way. Final rack decider, and it's semi-pro breaking off. You see how the balls, and again he's breaking from the right hand diamond. Look at the spread, but he's got nothing. And now he's probably played his last shot. The only slight problem is the angle in the 1. It's a bit more than you would like, and that's what can happen with that shot. And now it's turned completely on its head. Semi-pro with ball in hand, just looking at the lay of the ball, where he wants to go, and he should be home and dry now. And let's be honest, that is the only way he was ever going to get back to the table, was something seriously going wrong on Spectre Don's visit. Now that's exactly where you want to be, because the only danger here is being too careful and just rolling through and hooking yourself behind that 9, because you just want to be the top side of the 5 to make it easier to get in the 6. And I think he's pretty much okay. But now the crucial shot is coming to get off the 6 onto the 7. He's got no excuses because he's got the angle. It's all about the pace. And again, he doesn't want to be messing anywhere near the 9 ball. And, well, that almost could have been a Chinese snooker. But I think he's okay. Well, the squarer he goes with this, the more the bank looks good. But he can see the danger here is running into the 9 again. If he plays this to cut to the rail, he's gone near the 9. Okay, he got a nice kiss, but it can so easily go wrong. But it's going to be Semi-Pro that pinches the match. And he wins by 7 racks to 6. So there's lots of results have gone through. There's a few gone through in the 1 loss side. And we need to keep ourselves up to date with what's happening here. Let's have a look. Well, that match result has just gone through. So Semi-Pro's now about to play Larry. And needless to say, that's the match we're going to be watching next. On the 1 loss side, we've got LS3 playing Capo. Capo getting the 7 and out, and it's 1 rack all in that match. Spectre Don is just about to start playing his 1 loss side match with DJ Redo, and I can't see what that says there. What the hell does that say? DJ Redo's getting a 5 ball. So again, those matches will carry on, and we're going to watch the hot seat match between Larry and Semi-Pro. And Semi-Pro is maybe taking a bathroom break, but we'll get in time for the lag. And there shouldn't be any handicap in this, I don't think. Or no, there isn't. We're all square. We're playing scratch in this one as well. I think. Well, I can't tell who's who here. Well, it's going to be close, but Semi-Pro has won the lag, and there's the result through. LS3's beaten Capo 4 racks to 1. Semi-Pro breaks off. The 1 ball has gone. He has a cut in the 2. He needs to come across the table twice here, off the left rail to the right rail and back out to get on that 3 ball. He didn't want to hit the 5. Now, what about this 4 ball? Well, the 4 ball goes. Oh, that's going near the 5. Needs to squeeze past it. Again, out with the jump stick. And now the problem, having to play the jump shot, is he can't get good in the 5. Well, if it wasn't for the 6 ball, he would still have a decent shot in the 5. You pot the 5 with a little bit of right, off there, and down for the 6. And he's more or less following the line. And again, he's going to be, no, he's okay. Nice kiss on the 8 ball. Oops, hang on a minute. There we go. Always like to go up the left-hand rail here. I like to just draw it up the rail with a little bit of spin. But anywhere at the middle pocket, you've got the shot. So it's going to be first rack to semi-pro. So we know now that one of the favourites is on the 1 loss side. And the other 2 for this tournament are playing right now. Ball in the break again for semi-pro, and he's sitting. Oh, another one's gone. What have we lost? We've lost the 4. We've lost the 7 ball. He's sitting nicely in the 2. The 1, nice for the 2. No problem with the 3. Oh dear. Well, there's a disaster. I didn't contemplate the scratch into the middle pocket. Well, Larry has won a watch there, because I don't think Larry was thinking he was going to get a shot at this. Larry's just went up to have a look at the 5 ball. Now again, the 5 ball isn't a problem as long as you don't overhit it. You just want to be somewhere there by the middle pocket. Even if you brush off the 9, it doesn't matter. You're still wanting a shot in the 5. And that looks pretty good to me. Now, can Larry steal this gifted ball in hand from the scratch? But he's still not out of the woods. If he avoids hitting the 9, then he's unlikely to make the 8 ball any worse than where it is. Because the 8 ball isn't a cinch. Well, that's made it more of a problem. Now we know that the 8 ball goes in either pocket, as long as you can get there. So this is going to be the crucial one. That looks good pace. Doesn't want to go into the knuckle. Well, you have a choice. He's got a straight roll through or a little drawback. Well, Larry's got out of jail there with the assistance of semi-pro scratch. And we're back all square. And I'll have a drink. Oh, that's about 3 balls going down. And it's the 3, 4 and 5 have disappeared. Again, it isn't going to be plain sailing. 1 and 2, not a problem. 6 ball, he has to get the angle in the 6. It either has to be there, where he can roll through for the 7, or it has to be here, where he can stun across for the 7. So, let's see what he ends up doing. And he's looking for the stun. In fact, it's going to have to be a draw. A little. Is he going to make it? Or is he trying to run into them? Surely he's not going to try and run into them. No, he's playing the drag across. And that's about as best as you could expect. But once again, he's got to tickle this in if he's going to try and hold the cue ball to have a shot in the 8. But even so, he's still going to be struggling to hold for the 9. So it's not cut and dried. There's work to do here. And he's trying to hold it as best as he can. But again, that is fine because he's going to be somewhere up here. So the cut along the rail isn't difficult. That's... Oh, just got there. So he's had his work to do there, but he's managed to get it done. And Larry back into the lead. So rack number 4, nothing doing. And semi-pro, well, I would have a blast at it. Let's be honest, the table's wide open. And he went for it. And now he just has to hope that Larry can't run out. Oh, that's going to end up not nice. Another 2 or 3 inches would have been fine on that 2 ball, and he would have had a nice angle to get out for the 3. And now it's the jump cue again. Oh, did everything but drop in, and he was on the 3. Now these are the type of opportunities that when you're trailing, even though it's only 1 rack, you have to punish the opponent, and you have to show them that you're up for the task. Now he's coming across for the 4. Needs to get there though. Well, it's a wee bit straight. And now he doesn't have many choices here. He can only really go forward, and he hasn't got any pockets on the bottom half of the table on the right hand side to go for. And that's why he's ended up missing the 4, because he's having to work the cue ball. And at best there, all he had was a combo. Or could he sneak it in? No, he could have sneaked it into the right half. But well, he's semi got away with it here, shall we say, but Larry will be going for the cut. And he's hit that sweet. And look at the kiss he gets in the 5, and he's sitting plumb on the 5, and he probably won't do much heroics here. But the problem he'll have is if he leaves it long into that top pocket, the difficulty's getting good in the 7. Again, the 7 is impeded. Well, not so much by the 9, but certainly won't go past the 8. So he's looking to stun across to the left-hand side, or draw back the way. It looks like the draw. A little drawy stun, and that's perfect because it will squeeze past the 9. And so early on in this match, Larry looks very likely to open up that little bit of breathing space. Oh, he needs to get himself up the table there. It's just got there. You just don't want to leave those angles on that last ball. He's just made it and no more. In goes the 9, and with that we're into rack number 5 in this race to 7, and I am going to be back in 2 minutes. Right, we are back. That's the one thing about drinking all this water. When it goes in one end, it has to come out another end at some point. Right, where are we? Well, Larry looks home and dry here. And that's a result through from the one loss side as well. DJ Redo has been beaten 4 racks to 0 by Spectre Dawn, so Spectre Dawn hasn't lost his appetite for what's left in this tournament. So I think this tournament's moving on a lot quicker than last week's. We're at 2.5 hours or just under it, and we are well deep into the tournament, and Larry is well into the lead, leading by 4 racks to 1. The 6 ball has gone and got, you know, I wouldn't put it past him to have a cut at this one. I don't think he's got many other options, to be honest with you, because it's not easy to get safe because of this thin angle or thin edge that he's got in the 1. So I think he's going to go for a blast here in the 1. And in it goes. Now where's that 3 ball going to end up? Well, that's fine. Well, anywhere in the bottom half of the table here, and he's got the shot in the 3. So that's the objective. Get yourself down the table. And the further he goes, and the narrower the angle he has, the easier it is to get to the 4. Now, can he just pop this into the middle and drop through? I don't know. That looks like he's looking at. Can he miss the 7? That's the problem. And, well, it's well off the rail. I'd expect him to get this every day of the week. Once again, two choices in what you do here. You can go forward and around and out somewhere there, or you can dig into the cue ball and come off the rail and out. Whatever you're comfortable with. Larry's needing to eat more porridge in the morning because he's leaving himself short here. This is the shot for the rack, really. This 7 ball has to go, and he's got the pace right. Cue ball right in the middle of the table, and well, he's a bit straight, but no problem. Drop it in, take the 9 long, little draw out, 9 ball into the left middle, take your pick. So it looks very likely that we're going to have a fight to get through to this final from the one loss side. Let's have a look. What we got here? So we've got Spectre Dawn playing LS3, race to 4. Spectre Dawn's up 1-0. And I can't see what the handicap. I think it's a 7 ball that LS3's getting. So if Spectre Dawn or whoever wins that match and gets there, they're going to be playing the loser of the match we're watching to see who gets the final. And Larry off and running again. Now, immediate problem is from the 2 to the 3. And he's got a good angle, so it's going to be a draggy draw shot and stun. And the only thing could be is dragging into that 9 ball and creating a problem. And he's played it well. That was much better controlled. Little angle that he can pinch a bit and go off the top rail. Maybe over to the side rail, but he'll still be on the 4, no problem. Don't know whether he can just roll it through. No, just a little roll around. Now, that's a wee bit more of an angle, and if you were to go forward, the 9 ball's sort of in the way. So it looks like a draw across the table, and he's overcooked that again, I think. Yep. Oh, this is ugly. This is not a pretty shot to be looking at. And it goes. Cue ball onto the rail and out a wee bit. Well, it's going to be into a blind pocket, but I'll give him this 10 out of 10 most times. Well, I don't think Semi-Pro's had much of a sniff, to be honest with you. He's been kept well out of harm's way, and Larry's sitting cruising at 6-1. And these balls have all decided that the bottom half of the table is a far better place to be from the break. Absolutely nothing in the top half, which actually makes it a lot simpler for the run out because you don't have to keep moving the cue ball. And Well, this could be the only problem shot here, getting from the 2 to the 4, because if you get reasonable on the 4, you're on the 5. It's all about the angle, and that's gone pear-shaped immediately. He didn't want that, and this might be a lifeline here, albeit a very thin one for semi-pro. Well, I think he'll take that, but Larry's not messing about. He's straight in for the cut, and if he gets a bit of luck here and misses that 6 ball, he's got the shot. It's not an easy one, but the shot I like to play here with these shots is pot the 5 with right hand English off that rail, punch onto that rail, punch onto that rail, and down for the 6. That's the shot I play. Larry's he's preferring to leave the high cut. I like to go around the table to get there, because if you play that shot, you're always going to get there. But he's gone for the high cut. Needs that little bit of luck. Well, it's going to have to be a good one. It's extremely narrow to pot that into the middle pocket from the angle he's on. Oh, he's forced it in. And he's on the 8. And surely he's home and dry. And it's all over. And Larry has cruised through, in this match anyway, to tonight's final. So he's going to go and have a coffee and let these other guys fight it out to see who's going to meet him. Oh shit, it's only 6-2. I thought it was up 6-2. Oh, it's 10:40 at night, folks. I'm half asleep. I've lost the plot. I thought that was 6-2, and my eyes are going half. My left hand side of my body's shut down, and the right hand side of my brain's gone. So there's not much working. Semi-pro can't get a break here. Hooked himself behind the 6. 7, 8 and 9 all tied up in the top right hand corner. Well, now he's got to just cut this with a bit of spin and hope for the best. And I don't know that that was the right shot, because I think he played it with the opposite English to try and straighten the cue ball. Was it semi-pro that was shooting? See, I don't even know who's shooting now either. Oh, good evening, Slim. I didn't notice you there. When did you turn up? You still recovering from our sensational comeback last night, Slim? Well, that's now opened things up. Well, Larry, I don't know whether he can see enough of this 3 ball, can he? No, he can't. Well, from a match that I thought was over because I was watching the wrong player, it's definitely semi-pro at the table unless I'm out of sync. And he's definitely got ball in hand, and he's on the 3 ball, and he has to find a gap. And he's got the gap. And now does he just roll it dead weight and roll the 6 into the opposite middle? Well, he's stunned it, which is the problem because he's now hooked over the bloody 7 ball. Chinese snooker. Well, he didn't mess about. Played a good shot. This match might not be over yet. And I think all that semi-pro needs to get him going is to, now he's got the break, he needs to get a ball in the break and he needs to have a shot and he needs to run a rack to give him any semblance of thinking that he's still got a good chance in this match. He's had pretty much nothing up till now. Where's the cue ball going? Well, that's the worst thing that he doesn't want to happen, is to have a break, get a ball in the break, scratch, balls wide open, and ball in hand to Larry. And there's a result through, or is that one that I called earlier? LS3 has been beaten by 4 racks to 1 by Spectre Dawn. Well, you can keep the stream on and still play if you've got 2 monitors. Or, alternatively, you can go onto the internal browser and put it on, but it's after a period of time, it's more than likely going to crash VP4. Well, this cue ball's going to be somewhere over by the 9 ball. He's going to try to cut it into the middle. No. And he's kissed the 9 and he's knocked the 9 in and it's over. Well, there you go. That's one quick way of getting the job done. Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 3. And so we are 2 hours and 40 minutes into the tournament. And it's going to be Spectre Dawn. And in a little second, once this updates, Semi-Pro is going to appear in there. And now Larry can go and have a coffee. And these 2 guys are battling it out over a race to 4 to see who gets back into the final to play Larry. Now, while we're on about that, if we look at the money spread here, the winner is going to get $785. The runner-up will get $390, and 5th and 6th players get $145, so there's a reasonable spread with a full field. And 4th place gets $145 they get, 4th place gets $195, and the loser on this one loss side gets, is that $260? That's not bad. So, in we go. The 2 players may well be lagging off, which is why we're taking our time to join the room. And Semi-Pro has won the lag, and he's going to break. And the 1 ball has dropped, and look at where the 2 balls finished. Well, this table is crying for a run out. He's just gone the wrong side of the 4. That's not where you want to be. And now he's, rather than running round the table, he's leaving the cut back into the other middle pocket. So now the cue ball is running. And he's hoping for a break. And now he's in trouble. He's going to have to play a good one in the 6. And it just goes in off the jaw. And he's back on line. So, semi-pro, the run out, gives him the first rack on the board. Again, a reminder, we're on the one-loss side final match, and it's only a race to 4, so this could be over in the blink of an eye. Well, 2 or 3 balls threatened by going near pockets, but nothing has gone in. And the spread again is perfect. And you would think there's going to be an immediate reply here by Spectre Dawn. He's just going to have to get good on this 3 ball. If he doesn't, it could create a problem. But he's got well out and he's got a nice angle. And he can drop down onto this 4, as long as he doesn't go too far, because the further he goes, the straighter he goes, and the less angle he's got to work with, and he's dead straight on this 4. Well, he's trying to squeeze an angle and get there, and he's played it well. It was not an easy shot. So, as I said, the response was swift from Spectre Dawn. We're tied 1-1. Oh dear, again, a pretty good break, and I think the 9 ball was one of them. We've lost the 4 and the 5, but the cue ball's gone as well. But unfortunately for semi-pro, that 9 ball's been respotted. The 3, the 6, the 8 and the 9 are all messed up in the middle of the table, so he's going to, and I don't think he's got a great angle on this 2. As he tried to find a gap, well, he's played that well. I don't know that he can nudge this 7. I think he's going to miss the 7. Oh, he's managed to nudge it. Nudged it clear. Now, is that a nice position on the 7? That's fine. Just a little stun. And now, again, 2 choices. You either go around the angles that way and come down, or you go forward and down that way. And he's perfect. So this is a bit of a break that Semi-Pro has got there. That was a fair enough break from Spectre Dawn, but the scratch given Semi-Pro ball in hand, and straight away he's jumped in the opportunity and he's back into the lead. 7 ball has gone, and we've also lost the 5, and he's got a shot in the 1. Now what's that up the top there? Well, look where the 2 ball's hidden. Well, I don't fancy Spectre Dawn's shot in a second or two, unless Semi-Pro thinks he's going to bank this. Yeah, he should be trying to kill that frozen to the 3. Well, he's certainly not jumping to get to the 2. It's going to be the kick and hope. Well, that's turned out pretty good. A kick safe, and I think Semi-Pro is hooked. So it's same thing, just kick it and hope. But no joy. It's just gone a wee bit higher. It just means that you're concentrating more on the cue ball than the actual 4, and that's why he's overcut it. You're thinking more about the fact that you've got more to do with the cue ball, and then you lose the place on the object ball. And I think he's got lucky again. Yeah, Semi-Pro trying a long jump at distance here. And, well, this time, surely Spectre Dawn will take his chance to square the match. Well, whoever wins this is going through to play Larry in tonight's final. The final is a race to 9, and it's going to be a scratch final. Same as this match here. 1 ball goes in. Now, well, Spectre Dawn, well, is he? I'd have thought he'd have had a go at the jump in this. Maybe he doesn't fancy the distance over that 8 ball. No, just to push out. So again, with the push out, the incoming player has a choice of playing the table as it is or giving the shot back to his opponent. But Semi-Pro decided to try and tuck the 2 ball away, but he hasn't quite got there. Well, that looks good. I think that's a full ball snooker there. Whether he can spin off the rail and kick it. He's managed to get that, but he's not. Is he getting any luck? Not this time. You can certainly see the potting angle of the 2. that 5 ball. Has it gone and blocked him? I think it has. He ain't getting that 3 ball in from there. Well, it's pretty safe. It's not an easy cut either direction, but there's good cover on the right hand side of the table here if semi-pro is looking for a half decent safety. Well, he's gone all out for it. Well, what we got here? We've got the 7 ball block in the pocket. There you go. I knew you would turn up at some point, having seen you going into the room. Good evening and welcome. This is the loser side final to see who plays Larry in the final. I don't know who else is still watching this. I think they've all went to play doubles. Oh, Bedhead's still there. He's managed to stay awake. So Spectre Dawn. Four on YouTube. We've got nobody on Facebook, and I don't think we'll get anybody left in Twitch. Oh, with that chap that found a stream earlier on in Twitch, he's probably gone to bed. Oh, Slim's still there. Well, Spectre Dawn is going to be the man needing one more rack to get to tonight's final. And, well, the matches that we've seen, I mean, obviously, I'm going to go to where I think we're going to see some decent pool. And we've seen not a bad standard tonight from the quality of players that we've been watching. Not too much banging in these matches we've seen. Oh, who's that? Was you the chap that spoke earlier on? I've forgotten the name. Well, I don't know whether he planned that double kiss, but it's actually turned out not too bad. Again, it's not a difficult jump shot. He might even go for the pot. And in it goes. And that's the problem with Virtual Pool 4. If you're going to try and get a snooker, you've got to get it really, really tight. Oh, so you're the second person that's accidentally stumbled across this stream tonight on Twitch. Well, that's promising. Spectre Dawn's next shot isn't promising though. He's nailed to the 6 ball. And, well, it's a possible lifeline for semi-pro. Because this is not easy to get to. Because he's so tight to the 6. And he tried his best. Needed a wee bit more spin on it to make that angle. But it's ball in hand for semi-pro, and you would think this is his last chance to take this match all the way. Now, Can he squeeze past the 5? Well, he tried to squeeze past it. He's still got a shot. Didn't want the little nudge, because it's just sending him offline here. Oh, that's going to have to travel. And in it goes. Any nudge on that jaw and it wouldn't have went in. It would have killed the pace. Well, I would have preferred to have come around, but he's leaving it long. What's the angle like? It's not the best because of that middle pocket. Oh, he's got lucky. He's got lucky. He was always going to be messing with that middle pocket. Well, we'll give him this 9 ball. We're going all the way. Final rack decider. And it's going to be semi-pro to break. Now something has got in. Was it the 2 ball? He's on the 1. Yep, 2 ball is gone. He's on the 1. The 3's there. The 4's there. The 5's there. The 6 is there. 7 into the top right. 8 into the top left. 9 and the match is over. I can't see where it's going to go wrong. This game is over. It has to be. Well, he's doing his damnedest here to make an ass of this. Well, the closer he can get to the 6, the easier it is to keep it good for the 7. It needs to get over the table as far as he can. Well, this is about controlling the pace in this cue ball here. Just getting this draw right to come out. Because he can now just tweak it in. In fact, it doesn't even need any English. You can just roll through. He's still got the shot. So semi-pro has managed to come out on top here in this deciding rack. And he's won the match by 4 racks to 3. And he's now going to be playing Larry in tonight's final. So let's look at the bracket. Now remember, this is going to have to be the revenge match because we've seen what Larry did to semi-pro in the match that sent semi-pro to the 1-loss side. Larry won it comfortably by 7 racks to 1. And now we have the race to 9. And the room has just appeared. We are just gone beyond the 3 hours, so we're going to be finished in much better time than last week. And we're waiting on Larry coming in. Now let's have a look at well, that's weird. Semi-pro's in the room, yet he's got a house cue. Why is it not showing his cue? Oh, there we go. Right, so semi-pro's on the right-hand side. And Larry's on the left. So that's Larry's ball slowing up. Semi-pro has won the lag then. No, I don't know. I'm totally confused. It says Larry won it. I thought that was Larry's cue on the left. Oh dear. Well, Larry isn't hanging about. We've lost the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 7. And he's sitting high and dry in the 1 ball. Well, this is the thing that Larry's been having a problem with, leaving himself too square on these shots. He's easily going to come off the rail and come up, but if he gets to there, he's going to leave himself trouble. He has to get to there, or there. Anywhere in that line. Well, he's just gone beyond it. Oh dear, let's have a look. He's okay. Well, I don't think you could ask for a better start than that in the final. You break off, 4 balls in the break, and you're sitting pretty on the 1 ball, and you run out. That is the ideal start. But then it's the opposite. In the second rack, he's come up dry. Semi-pro can just drop this 1 ball in dead weight and he's on the 2. And this is exactly what semi-pro has to do. He has to respond straight away. Forget what happened in the first match, because he didn't get any breaks at all in that first match. He didn't really get a sniff. Well, he's just got there and no more. And now the cue ball's running, and he wants to avoid that 9 at all costs. Oh, he's lots of inside left English to check that cue ball up. But he's still got the problem with the cue ball travelling here. And this is a thin cut. Has to get the pace right, and he hasn't got there. Oh dear. That's a disaster. And it'll be even more of a disaster if Larry gets himself nice on the 7, which I don't see there'd been a problem. Perfect. Drop it in. You have to be on the 9 ball. Oh, that's a gilt edge opportunity there for semi-pro that he's blown. Trying to tickle that 6 ball into the middle pocket to hold for, I think it was a 7. And he didn't get the pace in it. Probably would have been better to take his medicine and run the cue ball around the table. And Larry's 2-0 up. And 2 balls have gone, the 5 and the 6. He's got a thin cut on the 1. But the 2 isn't going past the 9. He can go all out for this 1 ball, because the worst thing that's going to happen here is he's going to nudge the 3 in the right middle pocket and probably stop the cue ball from scratching. Well, that's the right side of the table, but if he goes all out for the 2, there's a danger of scratching off the 9. You don't need to think about the 3 ball, you just have to totally focus on the 2, because you've got to be on the 3. Yeah, difficult to judge. But I think he's got away with it big time. And if in doubt, just give it a clout. And the only lifeline is that 8 ball, which is tucked in behind the 9. There's work to get done on that ball there. And it's all gone wrong. No, it hasn't, because I've forgotten the 3 balls over the middle pocket. Now, Larry can take the risk here. He's going to have to go for the split off this 3. He'd be unlucky not to have a shot on the 4. But if he plays at the right pace, he should be. That's a reasonable pace to still stay that side and be on the 4. And that's unlucky. Any other day, that 9 ball would have stayed out the way and he'd have been on the 4. And now he has... Well, he has a choice. He can try and cross bank it, although he could jump, but there's a risk of the cue ball going off the table. And he's going for the jump. And there you go. It was always a danger. Whenever there's an object ball near a rail and you're jumping like that, the pace you've got to play it with a jump means the cue ball's still going to have enough momentum to bounce off the table. So it's a gift now handed back to semi-pro. And he can breathe a sigh of relief. Because this was, even early on, it was taking the shape of the first match they had. Larry just threatening to run away. So into rack number 4. And remember, we're on a race to 9. And semi-pro's break comes up blank. Larry, I think, looking to push. No, he's not. He's going for the jump. And now he's in trouble. Another long distance jump. Yeah, he was trying to find the gap over the 6 and the 5 there to avoid hitting the 5, but in doing that he missed hitting the 2. So it's another chance for semi-pro. But that needs to just slow up a bit. I hope this Hallett lassie gives Serena Williams a match in this final tomorrow. Because Serena Williams just wiped the floor with that girl that whopped the ass of the Brit girl, Conta. She won that match in under an hour this afternoon. Obviously I'm talking about tennis, I'm not talking about pool. Well, that's an improvement for semi-pro because he's won one more rack than he won in that first match against Larry. We're now back all square. If only he could get a ball in the break and run a rack. It's the same problem he's getting again. He just cannot get a rhythm. Getting a ball, getting a run, and winning a rack at the one visit. Well, the 3 ball is safe. And Larry just trying to get a shot on it. And that's a pretty good effort to get there. But he's going to have to jump it again, I think. And can he keep the cue ball on the table? Oh, he can. Where's the cue ball going though? Oh, he scratched. Well, the mistakes are coming from Larry with this jump stick. That's the second time. And it's keeping semi-pro in the match. But he's going to have to work hard with this shot. This is not easy. And he needs to watch he doesn't get too much into it and scratch that top corner. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, he's okay. Or is he? Yes, he is. Anything but straight on this 8 ball. Oh, well. Now, if you play this with bottom and left-hand English, you punch the cue ball that way. But he's gone forward with English. And it's almost got there. It's still not a comfortable shot. Just got to be careful. And he's no problem. So, for the first time, I think, I can't remember who won the first racks, but anyway, Semi-Pro has got himself in the lead. And it's from Larry's unforced errors that's given him that. But this time, Semi-Pro gets a ball in the break and still doesn't get a break. He doesn't get a roll. No shot in the 1. And trying to hide in the corner, but he's going to scratch. Well, it could be if Larry can get down the table. Well, he's not even bothering. He's going for the long 2. I thought it would have been better to try and get down and play the 2-9 combo, because look at where the 3 ball is. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't try to get down to the 2, even just to push it onto that 9, because look at what he's left. Absolutely nothing. Well, he's got the next best thing with the safety shot. That's a good shot. And this is not easy because the 3 ball's well off the rail, obviously. Oh, Semi-Pro is just going to nudge that over the pocket. Yeah, you know, when you're concentrating for 3 hours, it does, mental fatigue does set in. I know what it's like for me sitting here commentating. My head ends up going all over the place. It's worse though when you're actually sitting and waiting so long to have a match. I don't think Larry would have been too bothered. I think the fact that he had like maybe half an hour or so's break, you know, you can go and get a coffee or something and you know, take your time as far as that goes. But it's those type of tournaments where you're waiting in one bracket catching up with the other and there's too big a gap. You end up waiting 20 minutes for this match, 15 minutes for that match. You know, that begins to take its toll. And it looks like Larry's going to square the match back up here. Very likely. Well, simple shot here. Loads of top and get yourself down to the bottom end of the table here. But Semi-Pro's problem, from what I've seen, is not that he's played bad, is the fact that his breaking hasn't been working. And when he gets a ball, he's getting nothing. Absolutely jack he's had all night. One ball into the left middle as Larry breaks off in rack number 7. Sitting nicely on the 2, albeit at a distance. But look at the spread of these balls. Now, this is a problem ball, is just getting from the 2 to the 3. If he gets there, it's all over. This rack, as far as it's concerned, you cannot see anything else. And trying to get back up for the 3, using that little bit of pace. He set the cue ball offline, and we know what happens, the hang up. Well, this is a chance for Semi-Pro, but the chance has now got more difficult from the angle that he's been left on the 3 here. And, well, now he's in that dreaded area you don't want to be in. He's got the nasty cut back. He's got the risk of the scratch in the left middle. He can reverse bank it off that left side rail into the right hand corner pocket if he wants, but the cue ball's going all over the place, so it's all out for the cut and needs a bit of luck. It's always better to undercut it, that way you're going to hit the side rail and go to the top rail, and that is very tight. That was, I think, frozen to the rail. Oh, would you believe it? He's got the cover. Now, oh, that's unlucky. I think Semi-Pro jumped at with his playing cue there, did he? Maybe not, but anyway, cue ball off the table, and Larry has got his chance to get out of jail here. He got a bit of run of the ball there. Hooking Semi-Pro behind the 8. No, it was his jump cue, was it? I thought it was his playing cue. That's the black jump cue, isn't it? I don't have that one. I don't remember what one I've got, but it's certainly not the black one. But it wouldn't really matter what jump cue I've got. I either get them or I'm miles off with them. So Larry has broke off in rack number 8 and come up dry. Semi-pro colliding with 2 or 3 balls, hoping for a shot in the 2. He's got one, and a nice angle to go through onto the 3. Four ball at the other end of the table will go round here and have a look, and that's nice pace. Plenty of room for that 4 to go by, but again, the 5 is in your eye line when you're playing it. And he's cheated it off the rail. Now I think he can still just hold for this 7, stun the 6 in, and now he has to get the top side of the table, which seems fairly simple to do. That's going to have to keep going. Oh, that's not. That is, I mean, look at the size of the area that you had to get. Even if you go down here, you've still got a shot. You've just got to get it into that area. Much better over hitting it than under hitting it. And just giving himself more work to do. So anyway, semi-pros managed to get there. And we're going to be all square again. 4 racks all. Five ball into the top right hand corner. A good spread. 7 ball into the left hand middle. Well, this is the first time I think he's broke. Got a ball or a couple of balls in the break and actually been on a shot all night. If anybody else can remember when he did one, you can let me know, but I don't remember one. Now, can he back it up though? Well, he's gone a wee bit short on the 3. The wrong side. Needs to watch if he's going to draw this. He doesn't go into that middle pocket again. And he's tried to stun it across, and that's worked out pretty good. Well, 2 or 3 ways you can play this shot. Roll through the 6, play the 8 ball into one of the middle pockets, or come back and play it into the right middle. Now, well, it's going backward and forward here with racks. Semi-pro getting himself back into the lead. And again, looking for a break and a roll. The break is good. 5 ball into the left middle. And not a very inviting shot in the 1 ball. He's played a nicely controlled shot in the 1. 3 ball now is the issue because it's not got a pocket on those 2 top corner pockets. I think the 8 ball's blocking it off. Yeah. So now, well, he's got a simple safety. You just roll that 3 ball through to the rail and lock the cue ball onto the 6. Well, he wanted to be tighter than that because Larry can just... I think he's got the angle off the side rail anyway to kick it, no problem. He might even knock it onto the 8. Look at what happens. There you go. Oh, now... And he's got a break as well. 4 balls stayed away there. But that's what happens. Larry's been around the game long enough to pick out those kicks. And if he got the 3 right, there was always a strong chance it was going to nudge onto that 8 ball. And one thing's for certain, Larry doesn't want to be letting semi-pro get away. He's going to keep on top of him as much as he can. Lots of spin helping that cue ball off the top rail. Getting nicely over onto the 6. Slight angle there to punch it. You're just going to take it long and a little roll through it. And we're going to be back all square. So we're into rack number 11 in the race to 9. Larry breaks off and something went into the top left hand corner and it was the 7 ball. And look at where he's sitting in the 1. Well, okay, he's a bit close to it, but I don't think there's any way he can miss it. And he'll be able to cut that 3 ball on the left hand side. Now when he cuts the 3 ball, this cue ball has to be there somewhere, or there at worst, to be able to get a decent cut in a 4. And I don't know whether he'll just try and draw into that 6 and try and get the cue ball out a wee bit more. How's that looking? That looks pretty good to me. So over to this side rail and back across looks like the plan. So he has to get the pace in it right. No, he's just going to one side and he's judged the pace well. Could have went 2 rails, but confident enough to hold the pace and kill it as much as he can just to hold it in the 1, off the 1 rail. And so Larry from behind is going to take the lead. Just a reminder for anybody else that doesn't normally watch the stream, if there happens to be anybody else out there, Larry's from the United States, semi-pro from England, and Larry again has come up dry. Oh, now that little kiss. Well, it's ended up pretty ugly, but he's got a cut in the 2. He's going to hit the 9. 2 goes in. 3 goes past the 6. And a nice little angle on that 4, which is what you want. I didn't want to be over that 9 again though. I think he's fine. He needs to stop the cue ball and come back. I don't think he's gone far enough again. No, he's going to have to work the cue ball again. Lots of inside left. And it gets him there. So, back to all square again. 6 racks all, provided he nudges this in. Two ball into the top right. Oh, that nudge by the 4 there has done him a favour, because it's nudged the cue ball plumb onto the 1 ball. But there's a problem. There's always a problem. And it's that ball there. The next ball. Well, from that shot, he's looking to set that 3-8 combo. Could have done with going a wee bit further. Well, he's got the 8, and the 3 ball has just come up far enough. Well, that's a little bit of run of the ball that you need to keep a run going. It's been so easy for that 3 ball to go behind the 7. Oh, he needs to just slow down a wee bit. That's fine. 6 ball, no problem. Now, whatever he does this time, he cannot leave himself short. He cannot end up here. He has to be there. And he's made sure. Maybe he's made sure a bit too much, though. So am I right in saying that tomorrow, or is it Sunday? Because this is now Saturday, isn't it? So we'll get the women's final at Wimbledon today, or tomorrow, depending what time zone you're in. And on Sunday, we've got the men's final at Wimbledon. And we've also got the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And we've also got the World Cup cricket. England versus, who the hell are they playing? New Zealand. Now, what a day that's going to be. Because I'll be watching all 3. Well, where have we got to? We've got semi-pro looking to find a way to open up a 2-rack gap. He's at the table and he's got an immediate problem from the 5 to the 6. He's got a bigger problem with this 4 though. But he's certainly going to split the 6 and 9 if he's going to cut this 4. And he's got the cut, but he hasn't got the break, has he? Oh, that 6 ball just slowed up. And now is his chance. Needs to be careful with this, because that was tracking for the middle pocket. Well, is this rack going to have any bearing in the outcome of this match? It's going to be the first time I think any player's been 2 racks in front. And Semi-Pro has got there on the 9. But more importantly, it's came at the right time, because he's still going to have the break. And he's going to be breaking off in the rack that he needs to win the tournament. Seven ball goes in. And no great shot in the 1. He could reverse bank this and get all around the table. There is a path. That's what he's tried. Oh, now let's see where this. Well, the 2 ball is still on. And Larry has to find a way of getting there. This will be a good shot to get on that too. There's a fair bit of traffic in the way. And he had to take it long to use that angle to get on the 2, which he's managed to do. But it was making the shot that much more difficult, taking the 4 ball into the 1 ball into the corner. And Semi-Pro, well, even if he had potted that 1 ball, he had far too much juice on it. Cue ball nowhere near on the 2. Well, this looks good for pace. Oh, they're going to lock onto the 9. Oh dear. Yeah, it's going to have to be a kick again. And in it goes again. Larry's picked it out very nicely indeed. And he's sitting even better on the 3. Oh, Larry. Fatigue has taken a grip there. He's overcut that. Took his eye off the ball. And Semi-Pro has played a good safety. And now the momentum and control goes to Semi-Pro, because I thought that was not much of that 3 ball shown. And Semi-Pro's now got ball in hand. And the 8 ball is Larry's lifeline, because I'm pretty certain that 8 ball is nigh on locked on the rail. Let's have a look. Well, it isn't. There's a millimetre or 2 there. Where's this cue ball going to end up? Oh, disaster. Well, if he'd kissed the 8, there wouldn't be a problem. And now he's going to have to jump this. And he's filled the 8. Well, I think this match is going to go any direction now. I can't call it. Semi-Pro's had his chances here to kill it off. And just too much pace. And running behind that 8 ball. This match was over there. I think that's the first quite bad shot that Larry's played tonight. He's been pretty good for the most part, but that was the shot of somebody that's pretty tired, I think. But even that one, he's left himself short in the 6. And that will do. I don't think you could ask for much better than that, just to get as close to the rail as you can to get on that 8. Well, Larry's still in it. And he's still trailing by 1. But he has the break in rack number 16. And the 2 ball has gone in. The 4 ball, I think, went into the right middle. But the most important thing is he's got the shot in the 1 in this match. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to stick my neck out. We're going all the way, folks. Well, I suppose if you're going to find a problem, the problem is getting from that 6 and getting good on the 7. And Larry nudging that 8, well, he's nudged it out the way, but that could so easily have went wrong there. He's still got the shot in the 6. And provided he plays with enough pace, he's not going to be interfering with that 9 ball. He doesn't want to come up behind it. He wants to come around the other side, the right hand side, and he's well out the way. And so Larry breaks off. And it looks like runs out to take us to the final rack decider. And we are 10 minutes short of 4 hours. So we're still looking like we're going to finish quicker than last week's. So Larry now in the final rack, looking for that ball in the break. And a shot. Well, he's got the ball because the 5 ball has gone. And he's got the shot in the 1, but look at the 2. It's got to be across the table and back across to get any sort of sight on this 2 ball. It's still a millimetre or 2 off the rail. Well, he chose to nudge into the 2. He's still got a shot, but it's virtually no chance of getting on this 3 unless he plays an almighty cut with loads of English. And he's got loads of English on it. And if he nudges the 7, that will help. But he's missed the 2. Oh dear. Well, Semi-Pro has a very thin cut. And he's overcut it, and he's scratched. And ball in hand this time for Larry. So did you play your doubles match then, Slim? If you did, you never told me the result and who you were playing. Who was in the doubles match? Did you have one, or did it just fall by the wayside and never come to be? Well, I could have played that a bit better. And there's the problem. Larry's going to have to cut this back. Oh, and it just crept in. Where's the cue ball ended up? Oh, he's okay. Well, it looks all over. And Larry has a nice angle in the 8. Just to chip that 8 ball down the rail and get the cue ball out into the table. And actually come back a bit. That's what he wants to do. And so that is tonight's Friday night 9-ball, folks. And it's gone all the way. And Larry has won the final rack decider against Semi-Pro and wins the match by 9 racks to 8. Well, we discussed, well, I did, the money. We can see that Larry wins $785 dollars. Semi-Pro gets $390. And it goes down to, how the hell is this bracket working? It goes down to 5th and 6th places get 145, 4th place 195, and 3rd gets 260. Well, that's it, folks. This is my last Friday night 9-ball during the summer holidays, where we'll be able to do the full tournament. You all know the score by now. I'll be back to work on Monday. And depending on how tired I feel, I might not even do it next week. But anyway, thanks for your company, guys. Thanks for watching. It's much appreciated. And I will bid you good night. And we'll see you again sometime.